Welcome back to TransGuyReacts. My name is Nick and I make videos about women's basketball, collegiate or professional. Today, talking about the games for today, Monday, Tuesday? I don't even know what day it is. Let me see here. Tuesday, September 3rd. So before I get into the games for today, because there were like 4 games on today, the transactions of today were the Las Vegas Aces did sign Queen Egbo yesterday to a 7-day contract. This is her first one, so really great for them to get a little bit more help. They had the roster space, and so it's good for them to get another post player that can score because they do need to take the pressure off of Asia Wilson. She is just doing the most, doing so much. All right, so we get into the games today. Seattle Storm versus the Connecticut Sun. The Storm were on a 2-game losing streak, and the Sun were on a 2-game winning streak going into this game. The first quarter, it was a strong start from the Sun. They go on an 8-0 run, and at the end of the quarter, it's 18-13. Second quarter, very competitive quarter. Storm are able to get the lead. It's 34-31. We go into the fourth quarter. The Storm are having lots of success in this quarter. They get up to 55-48 at the end of the third quarter. So just a really high impact game for Storm. Then we get into the fourth quarter. So the Storm go into this quarter with a 10-point lead, but the Sun are working on it. They're trying to do what they can. They get it down to 3 points with 3 minutes left. I was like, ooh, we're going to have a nice little home win for the Sun. But then there's this crazy sequence of like deflections and tips and all this stuff. And it was going on for a good, I want to say like 20 seconds. And I was kind of shocked that none of the refs called a foul until like the very last, in that like 15, 20 second melee of like craziness, and then Nneka gets the foul. She picks up her 5th foul, and there's 2 minutes left at this point. So then the next play, Dejanay Carrington gets a monster block from Nneka, and she ends up talking to the refs about it because she's pissed. And then the refs hit Dejanay with a technical, because this season the refs they're so weak, they're so soft, and so you say anything to them, they're like technical. So with 1 minute left, Nneka goes for a block on Thomas, and she gets fouled. And so Nneka fouls out of the game, I was like, oh shit, Nneka rarely ever fouls out of game. So I was like, this is serious. So Thomas ends up making 1 of 2. It's 65-61. Then Tyisha Harris fouls Gabby Williams, 36 seconds left, and she makes 1 of 2, 66-61. Okay, the Sun are still in this, but then the Sun don't capitalize. They get the ball back, don't capitalize on it. They end up fouling Jewel Lloyd. She hits 1 of 2, and then some people in the crowd, they started chanting. You could hear it through the commentators. They're talking. You could hear some people in the crowd going, refs, you suck. Refs, you suck. Ooh, people hate the refs. But to be honest, it was probably one of the better called games that I've seen in a while, but, whatever. The Sun end up turning over the ball, and so they end up fouling Jewel again. She makes both of them. It's 69-61, 12 seconds left. Bonner does hit a 3. DeWanna Bonner hits a 3. It's just too late. So Ty fouls Skylar Diggins. She makes both of those. 71-64. You got 4 seconds left. The game is over, unfortunately. So let's look at the box score for this. For the Sun, DeWanna Bonner had a great night, 26.7 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. Alyssa Thomas had kind of a quiet night, only 4 points, but she did have 6 rebounds and 7 assists, 2 steals. Brianna Jones had 21 points, great game for her. Dejanay Carrington had 9 points and 7 rebounds. So, decent game, but just not enough people scoring, to be honest, for that. For the Seattle Storm, we had a little bit more even scoring. So Gabby Williams came in. She had 11 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal. So she had a really great night. Great addition for them to have her on. I know the first 2 or 3 games they lost, but the impact she had on the floor was amazing, and you saw today they end up winning because of that impact. Nneka Onwumike, even though she did foul out of the game, she had 14 points, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. Jewel Lloyd had 17 points. Skylar Diggins-Smith had 18 points, so pretty good night for the Storm. Now you go to the second game. The second game of the night was the Washington Mystics versus Dallas Wings. So both teams are outside of the playoff race. It's really hard for are they gonna make it? I don't know. So every game matters in this. So and both of them lost their last game. So going into the first quarter, the Mystics are punching first. They were punching them. It was 26-16 at the end of the first. In the second quarter, the Wings start chipping at that lead because there's Enrique goes on her attack. Enrique does Enrique things. Then the Mystics are just maintaining with like hitting threes. They're hitting quite a few threes, and they got the score up to 51-39 at the end of the second. Going to the third quarter, the Wings again start chipping at the lead, but the Mystics they keep that distance. JC Sheldon was working pretty hard on defense. Got to give it up to the rookie, and Tierra McCowan was playing exceptionally well. Unfortunately, Steph Dolson does get a fourth foul with 5 minutes and 50 seconds left in the third, so she had to go sit out the rest of the third quarter. Also, there was this weird point where the commentator interviewed Ariel Atkins' mom during the game, and it was so awkward. It was really sweet. Her mom was really nice, but it's really clear that her mother doesn't do interviews. So it was just like it was an awkward interview. It just didn't need to happen, but content, I guess, whatever. Also, Kalani Brown was getting some great looks in this game. She was playing exceptionally well along with Tierra. So the Wings do get the lead down to 4 points at one point in the third quarter. Like I said, Enrique, she was doing Enrique thing. She actually ended up being the leader in free throws for Wings history in this game because she's gone to the free throw line so many times. She draws a lot of fouls. So at the end of the third quarter, it was 71-65. So it's a little bit closer. It's only a 6-point game. All right. We go into the fourth quarter. Tierra McCowan picks up her fourth foul with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left. Some of the fouling, I'm like, yeah, some of it was justified, and I don't know. The Mystics do end up ballooning their lead up to 16 points. Emily Inkster was playing ridiculously great for the Mystics, and then Natasha Howard got upset by a no call, and the refs hit her with a technical. They love hitting you with the technical. If you complain, they're going to hit you with a technical. So that was like 5 minutes left in the game. Enrique goes off, she's doing Enrique things. It's 90-84. There's a minute and 30 seconds left. And then with 27 seconds left, it's 90-86. But the Mystics are able to hold on to that score, to that lead. Yeah, that's the game. One can make an argument that the refs definitely played a part in this game in the way that they made calls with or against Kehlani and Tierra, because they're very big and they're very dominant, and I don't think that these refs understand how to ref larger women. They just call any contact a foul, and if they get contact, it's not a foul. So I mean, what can you do with that? So looking at the box score as I do, Satu Sabali had 12 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks. Natasha Howard had 14 points, 7 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. Tierra McCowan had 20 points and 13 rebounds for a double-double. She had a fantastic night, but foul trouble and the like. Arike Gumbawale had 21 points, as she does. She usually has a 20-point night. JC Selden had 6 points. I mean, JC's doing her thing. Kalani had 10 points. Kalani was working it today. Love to see it. But for the Washington Mystics, Ariel Atkins had 14 points. Julie Van Loo had 11 points. Emily Inkster had 19 points. Jesus. Oh, and 10 rebounds. Oh my gosh, she had a double-double. That's crazy. Shatori Wakikembo had 11 points. And then a whole bunch of other people had a slew of points. So CK Kona had 7. Carly Samuelson had 8. Stephanie Dolson had 6. Brittany Sykes had 6. So there's just a lot more scoring from the overall team. Now let's go into the other game. The last 2 games of the night were on at the same time. So this was the Chicago Sky versus the Las Vegas Aces. Kennedy Carter is still out with COVID. So once I heard that, I was like, ooh, the chances of them winning this game is pretty much it's not going to happen. I hate to say it. I mean, she is one of their leading scorers, and you're missing 15 to 20 points, her not being on the floor. So I was like, unless the Aces really fuck it up, I'm like, they gonna lose this. The Sky gonna lose this game. Also for the Aces, Kelsey Plum is out for precautionary, just rest, because she's been playing a lot. So Becky Hammond rested her today, and then also Queen Egbo, she got signed yesterday. So I was wondering if she was gonna get some minutes. Spoiler alert, she doesn't. She almost does get a couple of seconds at the end, but there's no pause in the game, so she doesn't get it. Anyway, back to the game. So the first quarter, all the starters have scored in the first quarter for the Aces, and they're only 5 minutes into the game, and I was like, ooh, this is looking good for this guy. And then Kate Martin and Sydney Colson are getting some early minutes and playing really well. Tiffany Hayes be really selling them fouls. Okay, oh my gosh, there was 2 in the game, but the first one was really hilarious. She acted like she got bumped and she like flew across the floor. It was so crazy. Give that woman an Oscar. Give her an Oscar. It was against Diamond DeShields too, and Diamond was like, "What? Are you serious?" Because all Diamond did was like just like block her like this, and Tiffany went whoo, like it was so crazy across the court. I love the acting. Anyway, Sky do make a few good plays in the first quarter at the end of the quarter to kind of cut the lead, so it's 13-17. Um, in the second quarter, the Aces start extending the lead to double the points. Kahleah Onyenwere and Angel Reese are doing what they can. They trying, okay? They're hitting the shots. They're doing what they can do, getting rebounds, all that stuff. It's 31-47 at the end of the second quarter. Going into the third quarter, the Aces extend their lead to 19 points. Great defense all around. There's a point where Kahleah Onyenwere looks like she hyperextended her knee, unfortunately, because she like ran into Reese. But she stays on the court. But I was like, ooh, doesn't look good. And then the Sky do cut the lead to 13 points. So at the end of the third quarter, it's 51-63. Excuse me. Now you go into the fourth quarter. The Aces are able to maintain that like the 14-15 point lead. Camila Cardoso ends up fouling out for the Sky with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. So I was like, it's not going to happen for them. Tiffany Hayes continues to have a crazy night. She hitting all these like buzzer beaters and stuff. She's just playing amazing. And like I said, Queen Egwa was going to come into the game. It was like 26 seconds left in the game, but there wasn't a stop, so she wasn't able to get in. But they were going to put her in for a little bit. And the end of this score was 71-90. Unfortunately, this is the seventh loss in a row for the Sky. Just really, really tough game for them. But in a positive, Cheryl Swoops was in the building. Cheryl loves the Aces, and she loves Angel Reese. So it was really great to see her, the legend, Cheryl Swoops, in the building. Now let's look at these box scores. So for the Chicago Sky, Kahleah Onyenwere has 15 points. Angel Reese has 12 points and 16 rebounds, 2 steals. Camila Cardoso, by the way, that's a double-double. Again, girl be double-double. And people be talking shit about her having offensive rebounds for the double-double. She has 6 of those 16 rebounds. 14 of them are defensive. Only 2 are offensive rebounds. So people, stop talking your shit. You're full of shit. You don't understand basketball. But anywho, Camila Cardoso had 14 points. Unfortunately, she did foul out of the game, but she had 3 steals and 1 block. And Dana Evans had 13 points. She had a pretty decent night. Isabel Harrison had 8 points, but it just was not enough for the Las Vegas Aces, who came out there and beat that ass. Jackie Young had 15 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals. Megan Gustafson had 8 points. She doesn't foul trouble, but with 5 fouls, but she had 8 points. Asia Wilson had 30 points, as she does, ridiculous. 14 rebounds for a double-double, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Just the ridiculous. She is the MVP. How can you even dispute that? Tiffany Hayes had a monster game. She had 20 points, 1 steal, 1 block. Chelsea Gray had 13 points, 10 assists for a double-double. 10 assists, 3 steals, 1 block. And then in the post-game interview, she was like, looking at the stat sheet, just like, oh my God, I had 3 turnovers. Oh, she was like upset with herself, which is crazy. And yeah, that's it pretty much. I mean, there's a couple other people who had a few points, but it was like, yeah, it was good. It was a good night for the Aces. They played exceptionally well. Now, the last game, I would say the last game, they were both on at the same time. The other game was the Atlanta Dream versus the Phoenix Mercury. The Cheyenne Parker Tyus was still out, for the Dream with an ankle injury. And then also that technical foul that was assessed to Diana Taurasi in the last game was rescinded, and she was able to play. So that's just another example of the reffing in the games being ridiculous, and these refs be in their feelings and like calling things that don't exist, and like super soft. If you say anything, and the crazy thing about that technical, she wasn't even talking to the ref. The ref called a technical on her, and she was talking to someone else. It's like, mind your business. Mind your fucking business. Also, another thing that's really funny, in the presser for the Phoenix Mercury the previous day, Diana even said in the presser, she was like, oh, my foul will be rescinded. She already knew. She already knew it was bullshit. Oh, I love it. That's because she'd been in the game for 20 years. She know. Anyway, Natasha Clouds, though, her foul still stands, and she was suspended for that game. And you got to go see her TikTok about it, because it's pretty hilarious. You got to look it up. She was making good fun. With this win, the Mercury would clinch their playoff spot. So a lot was on the line for this game. So in the first quarter, KFC, Kahleah fucking Copper, was controlling the game from the start. She had the most points on both teams, and she had and she had more points than her team. Like the other players on her team, she had more points than them combined. So in the end of the first quarter, it was 12-16. In the second quarter, the Mercury go on a bit of a run, but the Dream started coming back. Right, Celeste Taylor for the Merc were playing some really great defense for a rookie, I have to say. At the end of the second, it was 25-40. In the third quarter, Kahleah had to go to the locker room. I'm not really sure why, but she did leave the court. Celeste Taylor ended up making some rookie mistakes and turnovers, right? But she was redeeming herself. She was making it up by having some great defense. She was playing phenomenal. The Dream did start cutting into the lead, though. Kahleah does come back at one point in the third quarter, and like about 3 minutes left in the third, she does come back. So I hope she's all right. Also to note, Letitia and me here for the Dream does get some time. She gets like 40 seconds in the third quarters. Tanisha Wright, what the fuck, girl? Why are you putting her in so late? Anyway, 49-56 at the end of the third. You go into the fourth quarter. The Dream do end up getting the score down to 3 points. It's a really tight quarter, and the Merc were like keeping the lead between like 6 and 7 points. But the Mercury do maintain that lead, and they end up winning the game 66-74. So this is a really great win for the Mercury because they were on a 3-game losing streak, so they kind of really needed to win this. So let's look at the box score. Ryan Howard had a monster game, 31 points. That's just amazing. 2 steals, but it's just it's just not enough, yo. Tina Charles had a great game. She had 12 points, 12 rebounds for a double-double, 2 blocks. Alicia Gray had 9 points, but she was in a little bit of foul trouble. Jordan Canada had 7. And Nas had 5. It's just not enough people scoring. That's just what are you gonna do with that? And then for the Mercury, Kahleah, amazing game, 28 points. Sophie had 7. Brittany Griner had 16 and 8 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. Diana Taurasi had 13 points. Let's see here, and is that it? And a couple other people had a couple of points here and there. But like I said, Celeste Taylor was playing really phenomenally. She had a lot of turnovers, but she was doing so much other things off the ball and making a real difference for the team. So really happy to see her thriving in Mercury in Phoenix over there. So yeah, that was the recaps for today. If you really enjoy these quick, they're not really quick, they're kind of long, but these kind of play-by-play recaps, please like, share, subscribe, follow, do all the things that you're supposed to do on social media, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.